All right, so still here on the AM show, and the next conversation we're going to have that has to do with the fact that this is the 1st of October. It means we've done 9 months already. And we have made some resolutions at the beginning of the year. And you're telling yourself, okay, I'm going to do this by the end of the year. I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to get married. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to, so many things. Turns out that you probably may have achieved some, not achieved everything, or you probably may have failed on it. But it's not too late. We have 3 more months to go. And so you can still achieve it. Someone who knows how to get this done before the end of the year or a way out is joining us right now. That's Doreen Bafo, CEO of Branch Out Africa. Good morning to you, Doreen.
Good morning. I almost said good afternoon. How are you today?
Well. How about you?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay, and I like your outlook. You're looking cheerful and bright, and even though it's a rainy morning, you're making my morning.
Yeah, rain means time for growth, isn't it? So water hits the ground, and it's an opportunity for seeds to germinate, isn't it? So yeah. I guess it's not all gloom when it rains.
All right, so I'm sure you also set out to achieve some things at the beginning of the year. Before you preach to us, we want to find out if you've been able to do all that you set out to do.
So interestingly, Israel stopped doing a full year resolution. I haven't done that in a very long time.
Okay.
So I have, and I think Corona has, or the pandemic we've all gone through, the world has experienced, has taught us to focus on the near and now. So what I do now, and I know that a number of progressive organizations are doing that as well, is to look at it on a very short-term basis. So to look at it on a quarter-by-quarter basis, or if you want to get really granular, then you want to do months, but I advise quarter-by-quarter basis. So it's Q4, and it's time to sit and reflect and decide what it is that you want in Q4. So you see that it's quite a different approach. It's this is what I've been given now. What do I want to make of the period or the gift of the current season?
All right. So in other words, you're advising that instead of looking at a year-long resolution, we should be looking at quarterly, or probably, like you say, maybe monthly. So
yes, I do quarterly.
All right.
I do quarterly. So now it's a gift of a new quarter, isn't it? The last quarter of the year. What is it that I want to achieve in this quarter is what I would want your viewers and listeners to focus on.
Okay. So let's say, well, a number of people didn't get the memo about doing the quarterly thing. So they started the full year. It's 9 months out, and they're wondering, okay, so where am I and how much have I achieved? What would you advise them?
All right, so I would say let's celebrate small wins. Let's celebrate definitely in the last 9 months, there's been things that have gone really well for you, no matter how small, and especially for the overachievers, people who must see the big numbers and the grand things to feel excited. It's just time to take stock and say, okay, what is it that I've been able to do in the last 9 months? What's gone well? What could be better? And what do I want to use the last 3 months for? So again, what's gone well? What could be better? And what do I want to use the gift of the last 3 months for? So once you do that, it's and you go through what's gone well, celebrate yourself for what's gone well. You're alive, for crying out loud. So just give yourself that gift of celebrating small wins. And once you've done that, what do I want to use the rest of the year to do? So you review, you reflect, you review, and then you plan for the gift of the new season.
All right, so Enimwa set out to say that she was going to shed some weight, before the end of the year?
I did not.
You didn't?
I made no such resolution.
Anyway, I had a strong hunch that you come and deny that.
No, because I'm even surprised. I have no such ambition. I did not at the beginning of the year say I wanted to lose weight. I have not said I want to lose weight today.
My bad.
I will not say I want to lose weight tomorrow. If it happens, it happens.
My bad.
Thank you very much. We do not live
under with
that
you
kind
on this
of
one.
pressure.
What we want to do is to focus on being healthy.
No, we don't.
And we define
really don't.
On being healthy.
We really don't. And that's not even the conversation right now. We don't want to focus on being healthy. We just want to focus on enjoying our lives, which is why Israel should not have brought up this conversation at all.
Don't mind Israel.
Because my views are not acceptable for national TV. So thank you. I would like to ask you a question, though. So this year has been a year of loss for a lot of people. Yeah. I lost my dad this year. A friend of mine, I was talking to him yesterday. He's buried 5 of his friends in the past year. Some from COVID, some from accidents, actually 6, and then his father-in-law as well. So for a lot of people, this year has been a year of surviving through grief. They're not really thinking about, this new season brings hope and light and all of that, because when you're grieving, it's tough to see all those things. How do people who are in, that space in their lives, kind of see that, the rain does have some benefits? Because when it comes to death and loss like that, really, it's difficult to see the benefits.
And you're so right. Myself, I'm going through a period of loss as well. I've just lost 2 family members, my aunt and my mother-in-law. So I totally understand what this means. Although I'm not a grief specialist, I'm going to address this from a very personal perspective, from when I lost my mom, which is one I don't know if I've recovered from, because every now and then I go through those motions again where I remember, or I wish she were present, because there were a number of things that I thought that we needed closure on that we didn't get to do because she left. So I would say they allow themselves. So they recognize what it is that is happening, and kind of accept. So people accept different things differently. So there's a methodology that coaches use. They call it the RAIN methodology. And you can Google this. It's RAIN. So R for recognize what it is that you feel. What's happening to you right now. And allow yourself. I mean, survival mode is thinking of you. It's putting yourself at the center of all of this and allowing yourself be, giving yourself that grace to deal with what's happening in your life right now. So one is recognize. And so we're using the RAIN methodology. And then the A stands for accept what's happening. And there people do it in different forms. So first you recognize, you accept or acknowledge what's happening in your space or in your life right now. And then you investigate or interrogate what it makes you feel and what emotions come up for you when you feel those things. I've forgotten what the N means, but our viewers can Google that and see if that methodology helps them to deal with whatever it is that they're going through right now, and to gift themselves that gift of just being kind to themselves. I like that phrase, be kind to yourself. So recognize, accept, interrogate or investigating what it makes you feel. And let's find the N. But I would say, if I had to give a word for the N, I would say the noun, be in the noun. So where am I now? What do I want to do with all the things that's coming up for me when I have interrogated the feelings? What do I do with them? How do I handle them? But underlining that is be kind to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, got that. Thank you very much for that. I think now that we've kind of spoken about that, we can also then move on to talk about making the next 3 months, of the year useful, I guess, or achieving something.
Sure. So, small wins for the next quarter, the last quarter of the year. So it starts with you at the center. for the rest of the year, what is it that you want for yourself in different areas of your life. And I like to break it down into different areas because when you break things down, then it's they look doable. Somebody once asked, how do you eat an elephant? And the response is to cut it into small chunks, right? So if you take your life and I will invite viewers to do this with us. So take a piece of plain paper, draw a big circle on the small paper. And now think of various aspects of your life that you would want to work on or that mean a lot to you. And if I had to break it down for myself, I often start with anything that makes me grounded, so my spiritual awareness. So I'll start with spirituality. I'll add family life. I would add career. I would add skills. I would add friendship. I would add health and fitness. And so think about it like that. And you come up with different portions of the circle. And then imagine that the center of the circle is 1. There's no 0. It says once you're alive, it's a 1. Again, talking about being kind to yourself. Yeah. So the center of the circle where all the points meet is a 1. And then the outer, the outer, what's that called again? Circumference, right? Of the circle, it's 10. Yes. So if you take all of those portions now in Inua, and you say that you've labeled, you want to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I currently in these areas? So for instance, if I had to use spirituality, I would give myself a 7 out of a 10. I also want to take health and fitness, which has become quite paramount especially when you're going through a period of loss and grief. And I'll put myself at a 4. So let's use those 2, for instance, and then I would say my career, and I'll put my career at an 8. So we have those 3. In the next 3 months, what do I want it to look like? So when it comes to health and fitness, I'm looking at moving from a 4 to a 6. What are the things that I want to do in this quarter to make it happen? One of the things for me, the ones I do well is eating healthy. So that I want to continue. What else do I want to start? I've stopped walking. When all the things were happening in my life, I stopped being kind to myself in that area. So I stopped walking. I want to pick up walking from this quarter. And to make sure I do that, I said to my husband yesterday, from this evening, I'm going to walk. My usual time is 7:30 to 8:30. So I want to resume those walks. What else do I want to do in that space? So for everybody, you need to think of those areas in your life that really mean a lot to you. Indicate where you are on that circle, and then set a plan for what you want it to look like by the end of December. And once you've done that, you can share. Research suggests that when you share these things with very close people, and anymore, I know that you have a daughter, so if you shared with your daughter and you said to her, for her to do the same, and you cut it out and you paste in front of your fridge, you can both hold each other accountable. My daughter is she's a commander when it comes to that. So for instance, if I did say to her, but it's small wins, remember that, and just choose those areas. When you finish this exercise, it's such a powerful visual exercise, because what happens is that when you connect the dots on where you are on the various areas in your life that matter to you, you realize that you have a circle, but it's deflated in certain areas and very protruded in other areas. And the question that your coach will often ask you is that, okay, now if this were a wheel and you were driving a car with this wheel, what will be happening in your life? And if you sit with that for a moment, you kind of realize there are certain areas you want to push out, like push some air into that wheel. Yeah. And this is your own wheel. So push some air, and there's some places you're comfortable where you are right now and you don't want to touch it this quarter. And so you pick out those areas you want to work on, you draw it out, share with someone who is kind enough to hold you accountable. Let them do the same for themselves. It really works beautifully if you're doing this in a family setting, and you post it on the fridge or the door to the kitchen so we can all see it and have conversations around it every now and then. And once we achieve very little things in that area, so for instance, if I'm able to walk, typically I would walk 4 times a week. If I'm able to do that, is to say to whoever is holding me accountable, in this case, in my case, it's my husband, to say, okay, if I do that, then maybe I want us to go sit at Gold Coast or any of those places that I like on a Saturday, and just celebrate those little wins. But be kind to yourself. Remember that.
Yeah, that seems to be, so important. And I guess sometimes being kind to yourself is doing the difficult things. So there's this phrase that I use when I'm going to bed and I'm really tired and I haven't ironed for the next morning. And I tell myself, do something today that the person you are tomorrow will appreciate. So when I wake up in the morning and my dress is ironed, I'm like, oh, thank you, Enima, for doing this for me last night when you were tired. So I totally get that.
I love that.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm not sure if Israel wants to chip in something.
We've grounded Israel anymore. I remember that.
Yes,
he's grounded.
yes.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, we're not complaining. And I also noticed that you mentioned your husband a number of times. I think about 7 times.
You were counting?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
7. Yeah. That's present. Thank you, Israel, for doing that. He's one person who holds me accountable. He's been in my space for so long. And so when I want to, especially in the area of health and fitness, he used to be an athlete when he was much younger. So he's consistent in that area. Okay. So when I talk about health and fitness, he's one person who can hold me accountable in that area. When it comes to, say, like studying for a program, I did something like that in Q2 in July, and it was my daughter. So she walks around and she says, hey, what are you doing on your laptop? Aren't you supposed to be studying around this time?
Wow.
So different people for different areas of your life because they're on the same journey with you, and you can both do that for each other.
Okay, thank you. But that also reminds me that it's my wife's birthday today.
Oh. You remember that 8/19?
No, celebrate small wins.
Celebrate small wins. So
we've been going since 6 o'clock.
So it's not that I forgot, but once you brought it up now, I just had to do it.
Okay. Yes. So Mrs. Lai,
Louisa Lai.
We're going to dedicate about 5 minutes on the show so that Israel will say a poem, sing a song, and do all. Yeah, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it.
I have a title for you, so you're just going to work with that title, Israel, today.
Okay.
It's called The Physical Evidence of My Love Life.
Hey! Hey.
I see.
It's a thesis.
I see. I'm going to use it. I'm just going to post the physical evidence. Essentially, what you're telling me is that Louisa is the physical evidence of my love life.
Yes, and what are the things that you see that make her the physical evidence of your love life? It's what you're going to, that's one stanza you're going to write for the poem today.
The second stanza is how you are going to take her to dinner, buy her an expensive gift, perhaps plan a trip for Christmas, give her a massage, and then go to Greece.
I swear my daughter will love you. All the things you've listed. But Israel, from me, I would want to give your wife a gift as well. So I will reach out to you outside this place, and I'll just get her a tool for self-awareness, and I will do that for her. So happy birthday, Louisa Lai.
Happy birthday, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for enduring Israel for all these years and not throwing him out on the streets.
But thank
Many
you.
more endurance moments.
Thank you very much, Doreen, for the nuggets of wisdom that you shared with us this morning. And as I said, I loved your disposition. I mean, once you came on and you were that bright, I was like, wow.
The sun has come.
Way to go.